$1,750 to add 5 additional properties to the Gilmore Road to the Finley-Elrama Road sewer line extension, contingent on PCSA paying 50% of that additional cost. So, when it says 5 additional properties, I want you to know it's not just 5 additional homes. There's property, like there's property that somebody wishes to develop is one of the properties. So I just wanted to let you know that cost isn't just 5 homes, it's potentially more. So, if I recall, I just printed it out before the meeting. I think this is it. There has been some other people along Gilmore Road that wanted to be added to the scope of the project, and something to do with the meter pit or something having to be deeper because of a drainage pit or something on.
The wet well has to be made deeper.
There's a drainage.
There's a water line or something.
A water line or a drainage line or something that they have to go much deeper, so that is part of the cost factor too. Peters Creek Sanitary is still offering covering the 50% of the cost of this change order. So, anybody have, do you have any knowledge or anything if they have any questions?
Yeah, I had this on my engineer's report to talk about.
Okay.
Tonight skipped over it since it's on the agenda. I did include this memo from Lennon Smith Solar, who's the consulting engineer for Peters Creek, as you all well know. We talked about this at the June 1st meeting. Peters Creek is looking into those 5 additional properties on Gilmore Road. And John, please feel free to weigh in at any point here as I speak about this. But it's my understanding that adding these homes would complete their service area. Essentially, it would sewer the folks that are able to receive gravity sewage as part of, Peters Creek's previously established service area. So we talked about the cost breakdown at last meeting. We had 19 homes for, I think it was $1.1 million on the original scope of work, which breaks down to be about $63,000 per house receiving public sewage. If you take these 5 properties at $311,000, I think is their estimate on here, that's about $62,000. So generally speaking, it's consistent with the cost per lot for the remainder of the scope of
In my
work.
recollection, Mr. Ludstrom on Peters Creek Sanitary was saying one of these properties was a larger piece, that he knew the person that owned it who intended on developing it if storage, so it could be more happens.
Oh, okay.
The increased size of the wet well is going to be 5 feet deeper to accommodate this, but also give added capacity for the future, which is something we discussed when we had our joint meeting.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, TJ?
Yes.
This is a separate, in my experience, it's sort of a separate sewer project
Yes.
for the township.
Separate capital improvements, yes.
Separate capital improvement. What is the current, I know Peters Creek probably charges a fee for transmission of sewage. You have a tap fee for facilities, correct?
Yeah, they do.
What is that fee?
Off the top of my head.
It's probably based upon some portion of collection and some portion of conveyance. Usually it's tap-in fees, collection, conveyance, and treatment, and since they're not treating anything, they're probably don't have the authority to charge them.
Creek Sanitary,
But
there's a fee declared.
There you go.
So they don't charge us anything for a tap, for conveyance?
No, there's
They
a
do.
tap. There's a tap.
There's a
Yeah,
separate
they
fee
charge
for
for
Creek
collection and
Sanitary, there
conveyance.
is.
Yeah.
Right, so they charge for conveyance.
Correct.
Now,
I'm thinking it's like $3,250, $3,200 or something.
Do you know Mr. Seiler?
he said he doesn't know.
He didn't
But
know.
the question I have is,
I
Do
think
we-
the total's 32 something, and half of it goes to Claret and half of it goes to Peters Creek, if I recall.
The question I have is, do we have a tap fee? You know, normally you have, when you're doing an expansion project, you charge a separate tap fee for
That's
each
certain
thing.
debt service, yeah.
Do we have a tap fee for this project? Should we have a tap fee? Because I sent you an email the other day. The question is,
Yes,
should
I
we
saw
do-
that yesterday, should we charge a special fee, I think you asked me.
Because you have, when you do a sewer project, there's normally there's a number of different revenue sources, grant, loan, and here we're taking out general fund.
Yeah.
But should there be some type of, you know, when you do a tap fee, you have a resolution setting forth what the tap fee should be. Is that something we should do here?
It's a good question to ask and we should look into it, yeah.
I think we should,
I think
because
we should as well.
what will happen is people like Pete Guido, or Chief Bailey may, you know, they'll say, why am I paying for doing sewage for these folks, when they should make some type of contribution themselves. So my recommendation is, I think we need to look at that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, what I've seen in the past is you charge additional fees proportional to the amount of the debt service and things of that nature. but-
You have to go through a calculation.
Correct, yeah, there would be a tap fee study that would be prepared and presented.
So I think my recommendation would be, I would recommend, because there's no reason why, like I said, Pete or Chief Bailey should be paying for this, maybe that he should do it, because you have to do a study to determine what the tap fee would be. I mean, we're not gonna penalize these people, but there's.
I know that
It was
you,
already a recommendation when the LSA
I
grant
was gonna
was
say, I was
submitted.
just about to say, on the LSA grant, it discusses a tap fee, and I just looked to you, cause I know you
Does it
read
say
it
what
as
it
well.
is?
It
Uh,
was
not that
$100
much.
and, it wasn't, no, there was it was weird, because there was a maintenance fee for the grinder pump, and there was a tap and fee to the grinder
Yeah,
pump.
it was
Mhm.
around $1,500. It was low.
But,
It was-
but I think, at Dallas, when you do the LSA grant, I'm assuming someone made some type of calculations. in order to get it.
They basically were gonna pay to tap into the grinder pump, and then pay Peters Creek Sanitary to tap into their conveyance, and then pay Claret to tap into their service.
So from my experience, and TJ, from your experience, I think it'd be prudent to take a look into that, don't you think?
I think we should answer that
It's
question.
in the LSA grant application.
Especially since, like John mentioned, the scope of work has changed now. We're not doing grinder pumps
Which is
anymore.
our next item on the agenda, so if we're
So.
changing the scope of work, we're gonna have to look at that calculation anyway.
So does the board have any objection to TJ doing the study to make sure that?
Secondly, TJ, if there is a large amount of property that's available for development, one of the things Peters Creek used to do,
We'll
and I
make that
think
motion.
they're doing the same thing. They create like a special district.
Yes,
Special
right,
sort, this is a special sort district.
correct.
That's what we will be looking at.
That's what it's a special, that's what we're talking about. It's a
Yeah.
special sort district, which these people will pay a different tap fee based upon the service. All right.
Yeah,
Here
we have to
again,
look into it.
you're gonna have a meeting set up, a joint meeting with the boards.
Correct.
This may be something you might wanna bring up at that meeting,
Absolutely.
since the charging and that is all done like Peters Creek.
I'm sorry, John,
I say, these people, this all becomes a Peters Creek system in the end. So all the billing and everything is done through Peters Creek.
Correct. And it really is done, but I'm saying we should still consider doing a study.
It's more like one-time tap-in fee than a.
Right, just for this,
Yeah.
just for this district only.
And it's already in the LSA grant, but it references the grinder
Grinder
pumps, I mean,
pumps.
so it's already calculated in the.
All right. So,
Okay, so back to the actual original motion is there a motion to approve option 1 to add the 5 additional properties on Gilmore Road with the Finley-Elrama sewer line extension contingent upon ECSA paying 50% of the additional $311,750?
Okay, excuse me, I have a question, Cheryl. That $311,000, that's total cost.
Yes, that's correct.
Union Township picks up 50%
Yes.
of that number.
That's correct.
Added to what the original cost was, the area covering everybody. What was it, 19 homes up there? I think it was 19 homes. It's gonna bring that total cost for Union Township up to about $600,000.
Yeah, I believe Union Township's contribution was 500,000 on the original breakdown. Plus what we'd be at, half of what we're at, 650,000 more.
Right, so if you made that motion, set forth, I just add, and to authorize the township engineer to do the appropriate study pursuant
Investigate the tax, yeah.
pursuant to the Municipal Authorities Act. For the tap fee calculation. What is that, is that 247 or 5? What's the name of that?
Oh, I don't know. That's another one that you know better than me.